drive around in a truck all day and go into some weird apartment, a lady with 10 cats and, like...
Cat lady, ferret lady.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely got to meet a lot of really weird, normal people in Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really kind of did everything together there for a while. We're a little more autonomous now, but...
Well, I think we had several life events that we needed more stability in our life, so we got day jobs. At first, I taught high school, and I tricked my way into that because I'm not a certified teacher, but they change the rules sometimes if you stay in the ghetto. And then I realized that most corporate businesses are completely run by incompetent people, and it doesn't really take that much to trick them into giving you a job if you can make their computers work better. So I just started doing that, and that's what I do now for a day job, which is a lot of fun. Not as cool as being in a band. But if anybody wants to buy a CAT scan, I can hook you up. Or any other medical device. It's so hard to do music. It's so fucking hard.
Yeah, in a way, we're happy that we're down to being a duo, but now we're doing all of the work that regularly 4 or 5 people would do.
Yeah. Just mental space, though. Just finding the fucking time in your life is so hard.
Yeah, it can be a real challenge after a long day of moving heavy things all over town to come home and have the energy to, try to create anything.
Especially when the life sucks and the world is burning, in general. It's just hard to exist and be inspired. So our music is kind of dark, but I think we're positive nihilists. I think we have a very dark view, but we're positive dudes at heart. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I'm positive.
Yeah.
It's easy to be inspired when world is burning, is it?
Yeah, I mean, when you get too comfortable, what do you have to make art about, really?
When I see someone listening to happy music, I'm like, what the fuck? There's nothing to be happy about. Why is that chilling you out? Acoustic music and stuff? Who's that chick that sounds like Lisa Simpson? Gianna Newsom, I'm just why? That's so depressing. It sounds so sad. Why would you listen to that when the world is so fucking horrible? But, that's just me. I understand. It's okay. But sometimes I don't get it, personally. Sorry if that's annoying.
But you're into her. No.
Yeah. Sorry. I don't know. Maybe I said too much.
We can edit that out, right?
It's live. What else? Thanks for helping. Ask good questions, everyone.
Yeah, our moderator, Prokop.
Let's
do some technical shit.
Yeah, okay.
Cool. Yeah.
This is the Hujo CX2 system.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to come forward.
Come
so
forward.
That you can get a look. We can get pretty hands-on here if you like.
For sure. So it's actually quite simple. This is technically the Hujo CX2. We built the Hujo CX1 for our friend Bitch and Bajas. I don't know if you guys know them, but they're a really great new age band out of Chicago and composed of some former members of Mahjong. But this is like a desktop computer just made out of shit I got off the internet and with a small case and stuff. So to me, always it was cheaper to get a desktop than a laptop. A laptop would break. This is, you can have a faster, more powerful computer if you get a desktop. So if you were interested in making electronic music, it always made more sense to me. So that's the brain. This is like a, MIDI controller made out of video game parts, which is pretty sick. This this goes to the computer, which goes to the sound card, which is down here. The sound card sends back out, and then it gets converted into CV, and then this is our analog setup. We don't use like analog for every song, but we are interested in pursuing it as much as possible because it has a nice organic sound, I guess. And then sub bass. Gotta have bass. This is a lead instrument. This is an analog.
The Moog Minotaur.
The Moog Minotaur. Everybody knows Moog, right? Cool. This is kind of all you need. You could just show up with this and you'd probably be fine. It's got a wonderful sound. And it's small. This is cool. This is the Microbrute, a very popular unit. I don't know if y'all have seen these around town. Maybe? Well, the interesting thing about the Microbrute is that it's actually made by a software company who made a soft synth first, and then they hired one of the world's most, you probably know this story, some dude, some famous analog dude, and he helped them build it. Sometimes the sound is a little tinny, but it's great for a MIDI controller, and it's just a nice unit to have. So our kind of aesthetic is like weaponized, like military cases and on the go and like fold it up and like drop in the battle station because we want to be able to quickly deploy and like, not have to fuck around with like putting a bunch of shit together all the time. And so that's why I got like this. This is for like a boat, like a speedboat or something, like a depth finder, just from some catalog, and it's a touchscreen and stuff. But it's all. I've been working on this for like 5 years, so it looks nice to me, but it's just something that slowly pieced together and just try to find the smallest components as possible.
Working on the music that we want to make and finding what we want to use to make it is one thing. Figuring out how to travel with it, especially to get on an airplane, and come to another country, is a whole nother thing. Yeah. And it's been a real challenge. And we keep getting tighter and tighter. And
we don't want to have a lot of stuff, but
it's no fun.
But we know what we want to have, which is this much stuff. So do you all kind of how the like MIDI? Do you guys into like how computer works with MIDI and understand the difference between MIDI and CV? Probably. I don't know. Let's say. So, we use, maybe you show them a drum trigger thing.
Yeah, okay. Well, in my world, what I use live, what I have been using live is the Nord drum. This is actually the older model. There's a new one out. But, so yeah, you can see on my kick and snare and two toms, I have a trigger, an acoustic drum trigger on each of them. And they have a, 1/4 inch out, and then 1/4 inch trigger in to this, which is like, it's like a keyboard, but for drums. Well, I'm not turned up loud enough. So that connection is actually not MIDI. That is a 1/4 inch trigger input. Now, it does have MIDI in and out, and I use that to, say Hunter and I are jamming, and I'm playing the drums. I can actually record in Ableton. I can record the MIDI that is going to the Nord while I play, and then I can stop playing and hit and play back the MIDI that I recorded, and then Ableton would be playing the Nord drum. And then I can, while it's being played, then I can manipulate the sounds and really get everything dialed in.
Can you show it?
Yeah, sure. See if
our computers are synced with time, so it just makes it easier. But
yeah,
whatever.
That's a crucial part of how we operate. Is that from my sound card to Hunter and the other way around, we can both send and receive MIDI to and from each other. So when I hit play on my computer,
It plays on mine.
yeah,
It's magic.
yeah, pretty cool, huh?
Yeah. But so we're locked into a tempo, right? Which is we've already destroyed something organic about music by doing that. So we have to add something organic back in, which would be him physically playing. So we're not locked to a digital sound right now, but we are locked into a digital time, which to some purists might be a view of impure or something like that. But I don't want to think about that right now. It's too hard.
So I'm going to attempt to record a MIDI clip in Ableton here. So in Ableton I've got a track, and through my sound card I've got MIDI coming in from the Nord drum. To the Nord drum. I found that if you try to do it all in one track, that I might be getting too deep here. But if I'm on the same track, if I'm playing and recording, it will actually send it to the Nord at the same time, and it'll be playing it twice, which is no good. So I found you have to use a separate track. So I just dragged and dropped that clip over. Kind of winging it here, so duplicated that track and started sending the same MIDI clip over to Hunter, and then he could do whatever he wanted with that.
And I will.
Okay, does that kind of flow make sense to everybody?
So, yeah.
And you're using this setup for create music, or
Yeah.
Our live setup and our tour setup are the same.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly the same, pretty much. Maybe at home we have some more stuff.
Yeah,
He has a drum machine.
I've gotten to the point where I kind of have I have like a studio setup and then a live setup, which is much more pared down, because a lot of the things that I have that I like to work with are way too big and old, maybe, to take on tour. I wouldn't even probably play in Chicago with them. I have a really old analog drum machine that I would not take on the road at all. And a lot of our new music that we're playing on the tour, came from that drum machine. So when we're set up in Chicago, we'll get something going, and when we like it, I'll track everything. I'll record it in Ableton, and then play that back, and then we start layering on top of that more and more. So now, what I would probably do here, I'm gonna hit play on that track again. We're gonna stop that clip to Hunter. So now Ableton, my MIDI track in Ableton is playing the Nord again. So now I have a track set up in Ableton to record. Check that out a little better.
We can do a real jam and just write a song right now if we want, but maybe show you like a light touch approach to the full process.
Maybe what could be interesting that you are using video synth.
Yeah.
Right now, and it has much more because it could be triggered by drums, by control voltage, by MIDI.
Yeah, we have the option to have the triggers go to MIDI, go to me, go to CV, then go to the analog video synth, which is badass and just freaky. Or we can just directly convert the audio signal into CV, control voltage. So the advantage of having the computer in the mix, as opposed to a strictly modular setup, is the ability to convert signals into MIDI and CV and back and forth, and the ability to quickly make a drum trigger sound or what have you into MIDI and then into CV. I guess, like I said, I'm repeating myself. So yeah, like a lot of people don't like using computers because you got to use a fucking mouse and it sucks, and they're dumb. But like, for me, everyone knows Ableton a little bit, right? Maybe.
Yeah.
I credit it with saving my life.
You have a good time with it.
We've had a good time with it. We've been using it for over 10 years. It kind of does everything. It's designed for musicians, so it kind of does everything a musician to do. The next logical step would be writing our own software, I think, to be more specific to what we would want to do. But I think we're like an Ableton band, if you will. It's cool, you know, Germans. Who knows?
It can be.
Anytime open systems like Max MSP or Pure Data or whatever.
little bit. We do use Max MSP in our setup a little bit. At least I do. Very light. We have some patches. There is some really cool stuff going on with computer programming languages for music. There's a language or a framework called Overtone, and there's pure data, and it's more programmatic. But you can. I'm just saying this. Like, my goal is to not have like this screen. My goal is to have just be like he's drumming and I'm like fucking typing, and there's like text going, like more like hacking, because I think that's the future. The future past of music is like being able to have more control over what you're doing specifically through. To me, I can actually work quicker with a keyboard than I can with a mouse. Like this, I still have this fucking mouse. Like this is so lame, but I just can't get rid of it. Like I usually try to hide this. It's black. It's like just sticking here. You know, I don't want anyone to see me using. I'm like, we're playing with Cabaret Voltaire, and I'm gonna be up on stage with a fucking mouse. Like how lame is that? That sucks. Like, but like, well, it's just like I started making music with computers in 8th grade. So, and I've always had a mouse. It's like what I know, and so you know, I don't know. I guess I'm not gonna change, but I understand that it's like when people see this, you know, they think like, oh, this guy's gonna do his taxes. Like they don't think like, you know, punk rock, you know. So. We believe that what we're doing is like more like punk rock than doing your taxes, but that's for you guys to decide, right? So, but that's why we're here. Hopefully that is nice to know. But these are great, though, if you think about it. Oh boy. Yeah. So Josh, maybe we can do that again.
Okay. Yeah, I'll.
Can we walk you through kind of a normal? We need to get on the metronome.
Yeah, we do. That's another thing that really kind of unavoidable. At some point, you have to start with a click.
Or you can deconstruct some of your already existing songs.
I think it'd be easier to start from scratch.
Yeah, okay.
To be honest.
Okay.
So a lot of the time, we, I don't know, I think there's different approaches to music. Some of them are like just dudes jamming, and then a lot of the time it's based on a sound or a chord progression or something, like a bass line. There's different ways of starting, right? But lately we've been working more and more just from nothing, I think, and it's going really well. Actually, so last time we were here, we were still in the unfinished business portion, where a lot of this stuff kind of felt like something we wanted to shit out, like it was like constipation from years of doing music together, like unfinished ideas, collections of songs from Mahjong that never made it. So it had a very kind of tight, rushed feeling because there was just a lot of ideas that needed to get out of our system. But now we have a new set that's much more like built from the ground up and more organic and jammy and like moody and looser, which feels better in a lot of ways because we've had the time to work on it that way. So we've kind of finally got to like make music how we want to make it this way, which is like more from the ground up, if you will.
And why did you decide not to drum?
Too much work. We want to get smaller, and also too much money, like to rent 2 drum kits and a van and everything.
Okay.
Like.
So in Chicago, you're still drumming?
Sometimes, but the last show we've actually the same setup.
Actually, the last show we played, we didn't.
Oh, no drums.
We didn't play any drums.
Yeah.
We were in studio mode, and we wanted to stay that way. So we did a standing up tabletop mode, and it was really fun actually, for me especially, because I'm always sitting down playing the drums, and it was cool for me to work on this angle.
Yeah.
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 Well.
Sure. And that's it. A new song. Just how we like it. vibe for us hanging out together. Maybe we would be drinking.
We would be drinking.
We would be drinking more. And
check.
So, that's a pretty straightforward rhythm. Sometimes we take more
Hey,
care
hey,
to
hey.
have an interesting sense of proportion with the beat. But that would be kind of the taste.
Yeah. So we would the way we've been going is, the way I've been trying to work lately is make a foundation, then record it, and then start adding new layers on top of it. I usually like for there to be at least 2 different drum parts happening, just because I like to hear a lot of different rhythms stacked on top of each other. So usually what I would end up doing is playing a beat, recording the MIDI for it, playing that MIDI back into Ableton, tracking that, and then moving on and coming up with a new drum part to complement that. And then, working on keyboard parts and vocals and everything, which can be, for me, coming up with a drum part on the fly, no problem, very easy, but, it can take a little while to really flesh a thing out and try to build it up to something that sounds complete and not just a looped beat,
Totally. But you're always really good at it.
Well, thank you, Hunter.
Best drummer in Chicago right here. You heard it here first.
Hey.
It's true. One other fucking cool thing about computers, vocal effects.
They can be,
I love this shit.
yeah, they can be fun.
So, man.
They can be very fun.
I love it. I'm not a very good singer, but what do I do? We have this one song that's like totally based. Many songs I think are kind of more about the effect than the content of the music in a lot of ways. So I don't know. Maybe you would agree, but
Yeah.
Like Beats Working. One of my favorite things to do is to sing through a vocoder but play it like live, like Herbie Hancock style. It's so fun, and it makes my life worth living. And I'm going to do it for you, at you. So there's this one part where I get to go like, Beats working, some shit. I see a road. I mean, I sound like fucking like I wish I was in Human League or something, but I am what I am.
I wish you were in Human League too, Hunter.
I wish I was in Human League, to be honest. But it's a lot of fun, right? I mean, it sounds cool. I can just fuck around with that for hours, and I'll have fun. So if you ever get a chance to get a sound card and a mic and a MIDI keyboard and a computer, Ableton, it's fun. So it does take some things, 5 things. You have to be pretty dedicated, but it can be done. So yeah, we're probably one of the only bands like this that's touring and doing like auto-tune with our hands live and those kind of vocal effects, which I don't know, just feels right. Sorry, so yeah. What else? Oh, we could maybe... Does anyone have any questions? Thank you guys are still here. This is amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, anything more about Ableton that you would like to know about? Or
Do you ever change the tempo simply do it live by triggering?
Oh, great question. Great question.
yeah, we on the tour we did, we had a whole, 25-minute piece of music, and it had, that we would just hit play on. We were both playing drums, so we both had to be more hands-free of the computer. So that took a lot more work on the front end, as they would say. And yeah, that had tempo changes drawn into it, and we would just play drums,
So tempo was pre-programmed, or do you map it like?
So yeah, that is trivial to do, right? We can like change the tempo in Ableton. But when we're improvising together,
That's why I'm asking.
yeah. So we can do that to any MIDI note. We can have it with a trigger. So sometimes we do that. But when usually we do, this is so easy. You can just
Yeah, like tapping. Rhythm, yeah.
yeah. So when we're playing together at crib, we like usually kind of do it like this. And then so sometimes Josh will start, or I will start, and he'll play a beat, and then I just match my electronics to him by just tapping on here. I would really like to write software that would do that automatically, but I don't know how. If you, this is my fault. Hold on. So, yeah, like I said, that would be really cool to have be automatic, like to custom make a piece, something that could follow his rhythm always and be locked on, just without having to, tap. But that's usually how we do it. That's how people do it, right? Have you seen
But
other
you
people
can-
do it?
Instead of tap, you can use bass drum.
We can use the bass drum, yeah. But he has to play,
Yeah,
so it's,
yeah.
it's like easier for me to do it because then there's no sound, or him to do it. We can do it on a keyboard. We can do it anywhere. One of the things, so on our, like what Josh was just talking about, one of the things that we like to do live is to add a little bit of like wavering to the tempo, just to make it breathe a little. Because if you looked at like maps of tempos for music, it's interesting to see like the most popular music, the tempo wavers like rather greatly. I was thinking about making like, if somebody took the time to look, a middle finger, but later. Yes.
I'm putting something together here to show you another thing that I like to do a lot with pretty much any device that has MIDI in, like this drum machine, or before I got this Nord drum, I was using the Korg ESX1 sampler, which is a cool machine, but much bigger and kind of clunkier. It's the difference between playing a synthesizer, which is what this is, with a trigger input, and playing and like triggering a sample. The difference is with a sampler, you can put in, I could put any sound in the world on this, like a chicken or a dog barking, but I found it a lot more difficult to make it mesh and to blend in with the electronics, because it's like playing the same wave file rather than kind of being played. The playing a drum synth is much more organic, and this little guy takes up a lot less room. Anyway, what you can do with either machine, it's important for me to find ways to have things change while we're playing live, but I'm playing drums, so I can't be reaching over and changing knobs with my hands. So I found that you can send program changes to these machines, which means that I can change the bank or the patch that I'm on the drum machine while I'm playing. So let's see here. we can be playing a song, and I want to have one patch for one part of the song, the verse or whatever, and then the chorus comes along, and I can have in the arrangement in the timeline of Ableton, I can have a program change send to the Nord drum, and my sounds will change. I just keep playing, and then I can have them, change at will that way. So that's something that I take advantage of a lot. Yeah. Did that make sense to anybody? Yeah. Yeah. Good. Yeah.
Yes. Oh. Does it seem like we're having Can you tell that we have fun? Do you believe me when I say that we have fun? Yeah. He does. Yeah.
Could you play any song?
Why don't we deconstruct reason to crimp? Because it's very misuse.
Okay. Do that. What kind of like break it down?
Or just, we just do a little bit of.
the sound be very electronic, but the feeling be organic enough, like controlled by your body. So it makes me feel good to do that. And that's kind of the jam. We do like just play to like sequenced music too, you know, and that would be the other side of the spectrum. But there's a little bit of both in this, but that's more on my side. I do. Oh, I know what you're saying, though. It never gets old. Yeah. Part 2 of the Masterclass. Auto-tune. Auto-tune, girls, now begins all you got to do. Do you know where auto-tune came from? Yeah. Auto-tune's got legs. I think it's cool, though. I like it. Ooh. Anybody want to do auto-tune? Step right. It's fun. You want to try it? Do you don't want to? Just whatever. I doesn't, you know. Oh. Do you know any songs? Good songs? Because help me out here. I suck at this. Do you have karaoke here? Do you guys want to go there? Or we have a thing. We were doing MIDI karaoke for a while. It was pretty cool. Yeah. Okay. Just trying to think of a song. Help me out, Josh. Help her out. Ooh, it's got it. We can do. Yeah. Help. Yeah. Cool. So this is in a major key. I can switch to minor if you want.
Doesn't matter.
What's like a good? What do you guys sing around here?
I want to break free.
Can you turn up the house a little bit? Yeah.
I want to break free. I want to break free. I want to break for the first time. I don't know what the lyrics.
That's great. Yeah. Let's see what it sounds like in a minor key now. Do it again. Do it again. I bet this sounds different. If you don't mind,
I want to break free. It's the wrong key.
We'll just do chromatic, so this should just correct any mistake. We hate mistakes. No mistakes here.
Okay.
What is that song? No, I like it. Can we try it again, please?
Okay. I want to break free. I want to break free. I want to break for the first time. Break from my mind, I don't know why. I just want to break free. God knows. God only knows what to do now. We all want to break free. Do.
Did you just write the song? I also want to break free. I want to break free. I want to break free. I can't sing that good. That was good.
Oh, that's cool. You want to keep going? I enjoyed it.
I want to sing another song.
That's cool.
It's boring.
I can try to control the MIDI this time.
Any questions?
La la la. La la la.
Unless anyone wants to play auto tune. Turn over here. Play around with or play. Why do you want to break free? Do you want to break free from the Masterclass with me? No, you're here all night. Don't leave. Just kidding. Thank you, y'all. Woo!